How's it going, everybody? Wayne here. Today we have 6 games that we'll be adding to the collection. Let's check them out. The first game up is a pretty interesting game that's not talked about often, and that game is Mischief Makers. Mischief Makers was developed by Treasure and published by Nintendo, releasing for the N64 in 1997. You'll play as Marina through this side-scrolling platforming game. This game has some of the most unique features I've seen in a platforming game to date. Marina has all kinds of abilities, from rolling, to a jetpack boost, to grabbing everything in the game. When you grab things, you can shake them and make them do different things. You can become a block man and destroy everything in your path, grab bosses and throw them against the walls, and use springs to launch you. The game is a blast. You can tell it's a game released early in the N64's life because the graphics aren't the best. But don't let that stop you from playing this gem. The controls are good, music is fun, and the gameplay is awesome. I didn't want to put the controller down to finish this episode. Mischief Makers is a must-own for the N64 if you're a fan of platforming games. Mischief Makers is game number 158 for the Complete in Box library, and it cost me $65 shipped, bringing our total up to $8,558. Next up is a racing game for the 64, and that game is Destruction Derby. Destruction Derby was developed by Looking Glass Studios and published by Psygnosis. It released for the N64 in 1999. Destruction Derby, as the name implies, is a vehicular combat racing game. There are different races you need to complete as you advance through the game. Some are races where you get points for damaging cars and making checkpoints. Others are an actual demolition derby style. In the races, you have to find a balance of hitting cars and avoiding cars. If you just go through the race and start smashing cars, you won't make the checkpoints. And if you damage your car too much, the race is over. The controls in the game are excellent. You can go full speed around corners without letting off the accelerator. The gameplay is okay. I would have liked to see more destruction in the game. The graphics are bad. This game does not look pretty compared to the other car games on the 64. Overall, Destruction Derby is okay. It's not a game I'll be rushing back to play anytime soon. Destruction Derby is game number 159 for the collection, and it cost me $26 shipped, bringing our total up to $8,584. You fly. You little... Next up, we have a game that took a while to get to me, and that's because that game ended up on a boat. After 3 weeks of not getting the game, I decided to go to the post office to check on it, and then found out it was delivered to a Navy ship. So the entire time this game was just floating around somewhere in the Pacific Ocean on a Navy ship. And it ended up taking about 3 months to get to me. As you can tell by the shipping box, it got missent to the USS Carl Vinson. So for a while there, I didn't think I was ever going to see this game. But eventually I got it, and that game is Tigger's Honey Hunt. Tigger's Honey Hunt was developed by Doki Denki Studio and published by New Kids Company. It bounced to store shelves in 2000. Tigger's Honey Hunt is a side-scrolling platform. In the main game, you'll run around collecting honey pots for Winnie the Pooh. Or should I say bounce around. Along the way, you'll run into friends that lead you to caves filled with honey or ask you to find something for them. If you don't find enough honey pots, Tigger gets sent back out to find more before advancing to the next level. There's also a mini-game mode. In this mode, you'll find a paper, rock, scissors game, which is all luck, Rabbit Says, which is an easy memorization game, and Pooh Stick. Yes, Pooh Stick. All jokes aside, Pooh Stick is just a river stick racing game where you drop a stick in the water and race to the end. You'll win the game every time if you just drop your stick at the bottom of the screen and hit A. The game isn't very entertaining. It was obviously designed for kids, although the characters don't talk and you're forced to read what's going on. Tigger's Honey Hunt is game number 160 for the collection, and it cost me $32 shipped, bringing our total up to $8,616 for the Complete in Box N64 library. Next up, we have a sports game that I already had the box for, so I just bought the cart and manual for this game, and that game is All-Star Baseball 99. All-Star Baseball 99 was developed by Iguana Entertainment and published by Acclaim, releasing for the N64 in 1999. This has been the best baseball game I've played on the N64 so far. Compared to the other baseball games we've covered, this game looks the best visually, and I like the way the gameplay flows. When you bat, there is a box and a circle. The corners of the box will turn red after the pitch to give you a heads up of where you need to swing. The outfield is pretty standard for a baseball game, where you run to a circle to catch the ball. The opponents in the game love to steal bases. Likewise, this was the first baseball game I've ever been able to get someone out that was trying to steal a base. The pitching in the game is set up nicely. You select the type of throw you want to do and where you want it to go. If I pick a baseball game out of my collection to play, this would be the one so far. But there's still more to cover. All-Star Baseball 99 is game number 161 for the collection, and the carton manual cost me $10 shipped, bringing our total up to $8,626. Next up, we have a game that I already had on the shelf, but it was a sealed copy, and I ended up trading that copy for something else and got just a complete in box copy. And that game is Blues Brothers 2000. Blues Brothers was developed by Player One and published by Titus. It released for the N64 in 2000. Blues Brothers is a platforming game. It's one of those games you never hear anyone talk about. For a game releasing in 2000, the graphics are subpar, but not terrible. Your mission is to collect your team to put your band back together. The game feels like a standard platforming game. There is nothing super exciting going on. You just collect musical notes and solve easy puzzles. The controls are decent, but the camera angles will have you making blind jumps. Although Blues Brothers is entertaining, it's not talked about much because it's just a standard game that brought nothing new to the table. Overall, the game doesn't show up often, and if it does, it's priced a little higher than the others. If you find the game for a good price and you're a fan of platformers, it has all the basics. Don't overpay for this game though. It'll give you the blues. Blues Brothers 2000 is game number 162 for the library, and it cost me $29 shipped, bringing our total up to $8,655. However, by getting rid of the sealed copy that cost me $55 shipped, that brings our total down to $8,600 for the N64 complete in box library. Last but not least is a game you heard me talk about before because the price on it was absolutely ridiculous for what it was, and that game is Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. Kirby 64 was developed by HAL Laboratory and published by Nintendo. It was available for purchase in 2000. Kirby 64 is a side-scrolling platformer. The visuals in the game look great. It's what you'd expect from a Kirby game. The controls are solid as well. The feature I like most in the game is not having only one power ability, but being able to combine multiple powers together, leaving you tons of ways to choose from to attack your enemies. Is Kirby 64 perfect? No. The game would be much better if they added an easy mode and hard mode. The game is just way too easy. Anyone can pick up this game and 100% it. This is a good game to choose for your kids if you're trying to get them into video games. Overall, Kirby 64 is fun and worth giving a shot. It is a pricier game, especially complete in box. If you're looking for a cheap copy just to play, you can get a copy of the Japanese game for super cheap, as long as you have the capability to play Japanese N64 games. Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards is game number 163 for the collection, and it cost me $110 shipped, bringing our total up to $8,710. Now with this game, I've talked about it before, the prices complete in box were reaching $200. So when I saw this one for $110 in excellent condition, I went ahead and bought it. All it takes is just a couple impatient people to overpay for a game that much, and then it becomes that standard price. So when it was $110, I bought it right away before this game got out of control price-wise. Well, that's it for this episode. Let's get these games on the shelf. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe. I'll be collecting the entire N64 library, complete in box, right here on the show. Also make sure to leave a thumbs up, for the Navy making sure I got my package eventually. Until next time, I'm Wayne, and thanks for watching.